Welcome back to Across the Glass Sea. This is a live play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast, and I am your Dungeon Master, Nathaniel Miller, and I'm joined in studio, as always, by...
Ben Microphone Input Gilbreth playing Tamarian Hachiman Moves in Mysterious Ways Nasare.
I think you're the first one to give yourself a nickname on this I did.
Podcast. I gave myself another one early on. I was Ben Natural Ones Gilbreth because it was bad.
I see. All right, we're also joined by...
Michael Mazul playing Lichen, Insidious Ethology. I don't know.
Ooh, Insidious.
I kept thinking of Input, but you didn't have
That's
that problem.
tasty.
That was me. Insidious. Inspiring.
Inspiring? Irresolute?
Thank you.
Irreverent. There we go, because you...
Inefficient? Intemperate?
I said thank you.
Impolite?
I like the irreverent because I was listening to the old episode, and when you went and sat in Nima's chapel, you like kicked back, feet up, arms spread, which I thought was great.
Yeah, it's a very good character detail for Lycan.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll find some other good character details in this recap. How y'all feel about that? Want to recap?
Yes, please.
All right, let's do it. Last time in Tyroa, our heroes, by chance or by providence, encountered Lieutenant Rodrigo in the Temple of Anima, a disgraced Admiralty officer with intelligence who had been stationed aboard the Vault Ship for the Admiralty. He had been there, but he lost his badge of office and key into some of the restricted areas of the ship while gambling at the Serpent's Flagon to someone he called the Champ. You all ventured to this tavern where you discovered Penelope and much of your crew. As you hung out in the dining room, you made contact with an orc broker, you caused a scene in front of some hoity-toity wood elves, and you entered into the pit fighting tournament where you were confronted by the Champ. Only Lycan knew him by another name, Tank Silverfang.
Frank the Tank.
After an epic battle back and forth, you knocked him out unconscious and were crowned the new champions of the ring. Who knows what other challenges and victories await our heroes across the Glass Sea. So the crowd is cheering. Tank has just fallen to the ground, his eyes rolled back into his head, and you hear a booming voice proclaiming new champions, and you see a halfling scurries out onto the sand of the pit ring with a little belt with a gold belt buckle to hand over to Lycan, and he holds your arm up and says, "We have a new champion!"
I think I did this last time, but Tam has grabbed Lycan's arm and now has thrown the belt over his shoulder and just going, "Are you not entertained?"
Thanks for your help with that. I usually can't reach to do the arm thing, so I appreciate
Tim
that.
whirls of his, "You're welcome!"
Oh, yeah. Whoa, buddy. Cool. And then the announcer comes on and thanks the crowd for coming, and people start to file out. It seems that this is kind of the last fight of the night.
If I can change, and you can change.
I will, in the midst of my shouting, I will cast Healing Word on Tank.
Okay. He pops back up.
The best good game ever.
Yeah. He's like, did I win? And he looks around really confused. And the halfling's like, "No, buddy, you lost." And he pats him on the shoulder and starts to walk away.
Tam will turn to Tank and say, that was well fought. You put quite the whipping on both of us. It was never really clear, but what do you say the winner gets that fancy blue necklace you've got in your hand wrappings there?
Oh, this thing? Yeah, sure. I just won it in a card game. I just think it looks kind of neat, but you can have it. You guys deserve it.
You want 2 gold for it?
Sure.
All right, then. I feel like I can't take advantage of
As
it.
Tam is doing this, Lycan has tried to stop the halfling. So, are there any winnings for the champion?
He explains to you that essentially he gives you a pouch of 50 gold, and he also says if you want to, you can essentially stay on as the champ, and for every night that you stay in this pit fighting ring and fight, you can earn 10 gold per fight.
Oh. We can be a retained act.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Tam has kind of tried to lift Tank up and is trying to kind of support him. And I'll turn to the Halfling and say, I feel like this may have been a one-night thing, but anytime we come back, we'll be sure to look it up.
Of course, understand. We always have people coming through. Tank, if they leave, you're welcome to stay on as champ. And Tank says,
Yeah, you know, I do like to fight, but we'll have to see. I'm not sure. Tank's gotta take a look at his options.
and he says,
Now, I believe that I invited you two for brunch. How about tomorrow?
That would be wonderful, Tank.
All right, sounds good. But I have a tab up at the Serpent's Flagon if you guys just want to meet me there.
Just upstairs. I mean, yeah, that's where we're staying. Do you live here?
Oh, no way. I live here too, guys. That's crazy. What floor are you on?
Oh my god.
At this point, Lycan's come back. Tank.
Lichen, man, that was awesome.
and he like,
Man, you're telling me, brother. Since we were kids, man, that left hook of yours is something fierce.
Yeah, it is. And hey, your moves with that blade were, man, that thing was dancing all around me there. I didn't know which way to turn.
Man, I mean, I think if it was just me against you, I think you'd still be holding that champ if it weren't for my buddy Tam here.
Yeah, he doesn't look like much, but he packs a punch.
He sure does.
Tam bristles a little bit, but then realizes how hard it is for him to hold Tank up at the moment, and just goes, you try your best.
Let's make our way over to some seats. I wanna hear how you even ended up here, Tank.
All right, yeah.
he goes over to the side of the arena and motions for a halfling to bring a tray. There's some like shaved ice type things. And he's just like is eating this like gelato.
Remind me what family Tank comes from again?
He's from the Silverfang family.
That's right. Okay.
Which is one of the four main families.
Yep.
They are dragonborn, as you know.
As is evidenced by Tank.
Whoa, wait, but is he like main family?
He's main family.
Oh shoot. Okay.
He's of a similar status as Vincent.
Okay. Yeah.
But he's
Cool.
very different than Vincent. You definitely fought with Tank a bunch when you were a kid, but it wasn't the same as with Vincent.
Mm. He would give you a good game after he beat the snot out of you.
Yeah.
At least that's the impression I'm getting.
Yeah, I mean, Tank has not really changed. He's maybe gotten a little bigger and stronger, but he's not materially that different. He's not the head. He's not even the heir necessarily. He's like the fifth son. He was kind of like the lieutenant, the foot soldier, the bruiser, but never someone who is like going to be in line to really have power with them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So Tank's got a spoonful of gelato in his mouth.
Yeah, eventually I just got tired of roaming around, being in the same fights, beating the same guys, and took a job on a ship for my family, ended up here, and just have been on countless adventures since then. And there's been some great fights along the way. Yeah, my family wanted me to come out and do some rogue merchanting, if you catch my drift, but I kind of got bored of that too, and mostly just have enjoyed the fighting part of it, because when you're sailing, there's so many chores to do, and I'd rather just jump in the ring with a fella.
Do you fight a lot when you're here? I mean, how many fights have you had tonight?
This is probably my fifth fight, I think.
Of today?
Yeah, but they have healers and stuff to patch me up in between. It's not like
You were fully healed when we started fighting you, right? Like you were like, right? Say right, Tank.
Otherwise, it wouldn't really be fair.
Okay, yeah, good.
Say right, Tank.
It's only fair to my competitors that I give my absolute best.
That's very good. Very good, Tank. Well, I think we're going to go have a big rest ourselves, and
Yeah, sure.
we'll see you in the morning for brunch.
All right. Well, it's good to see you guys. Lichen, it's good to see someone from home.
Yeah, no, actually, Tank, if you don't mind, before we split ways, just in case, I don't know, you
Sure.
sleep in or something in the morning.
I get up at 5 a.m.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Of course he does.
don't really sleep in. I just wake up and my brain just can't get back to sleep.
So how long has it been since you were at the city?
Oh, it's been about coming on close to 6 months, 8 months, something like that.
Okay. Just a question. I don't know how much you paid attention. Was Killian still there by chance, or?
I can't remember. I haven't seen him in a while. He might have been there, but he hadn't really been out and about rumbling with us kind of the way that things used to be for a couple years.
Well, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. He's taking everything over.
Yeah, at a certain point, all the people that we grew up with kind of stopped participating in the street fights and the fighting tournaments, and I don't really get it. They're so much fun.
Yeah, I know. All right, I was just curious if you had seen or heard anything about him by chance.
All right, sounds good.
All right, well, yeah, we'll catch you in the morning.
I'm gonna head to bed.
And he finishes his last gelato and clomps up the stairs, and he disappears.
And so Rodrigo did not come with us to...
He said he was going to wait at the Temple of Nema.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Captain, well done. Tam gives him a fist bump, holding the locket.
You too, first mate.
We did our best, going in pre-magicked. Felt a bit squiffly on the rules, but they didn't say we couldn't, so away we went.
It also felt weird. This is the first time I'm ever saying this. It also felt a little weird not being able to cast anything, not being able to, call on that power at all. But at the same time, it was kind of nice. It's been a while since I've had to fight just straight up.
Just you.
Yeah. Well,
I think we're figuring out our teamwork.
All right. So we have the key to get into the ship now. We got a guy waiting for us back at the temple. We got brunch in the morning. What do you think the next step should be, right? Should we just skip out on going back and getting him and having him take us there? Should we just...
I've been thinking about this when I wasn't getting my brains bashed in. Vincent hopefully is getting us some uniforms, and I was thinking that we go with Rodrigo in uniform back on the ship. Either we act like superiors of his who are giving him a dressing down for losing his, we've had to come in and get this back, we can't believe it, we're coming with him to clean out his desk, basically, or we come in as just people on a separate mission from the Silver Fleet needing to access the Vault Ship, or I think bringing Rodrigo is going to open a few doors that it's not otherwise. But it's a question of how we're going to deal with him when we show our true colors and start either stealing or knocking heads. Or knocking heads.
Exactly.
And Tank's not coming, right? I mean, we're together on that.
To the ship?
Yeah.
Nah, we can also come back for him if we need to.
As pleasant as he is, I think I can only handle 2 weirdly pleasant people from your past at once. Well, no more than one. I mean, yeah, 2's too many.
You talking about Vincent?
Yeah.
You get it now, right?
I still don't. I mean, he's done nothing but be, at most, passive-aggressive. Tank seems to be, and I look around, make sure seems to be a bit of an idiot. A pleasant idiot, albeit. But, as I've said before, I trust you, and I'm keeping my eyes on Vincent. But he's still not shown me anything short of, being a bit annoying and irritating.
You'll see it. You'll see it one day. Don't worry.
I hope it's at a time when we can deal with it well.
But nah, I also like Tank. He probably isn't the best thing to take on a stealth rogue merchant investment right now, but
as bad as I am at talking to strangers and lying about things, I feel like he's going to be worse.
Yeah, but people just like him.
He's a very likable guy. I mean, I like him, and he just beat the tar out of me.
I mean, he's really high up back in the city too. And I mean, you see how he acts. People could take advantage of that and everything, but everyone just likes him like a little bit too much to really do that. You know?
They could probably feel a bit guilty.
I don't know.
They might rib him around for a bit, but then if it goes too far, they know better.
All right, well, let's mull it over some too. I agree. I think taking Rodriguez with us could open some doors, but I mean, I don't see him going along willingly with that, right?
That's true. That's very true. I mean, and he didn't impress me as a very devious or cunning fighter, and so when we meet with him tomorrow, we feel him out, and if he's not willing to participate and maybe get us on the vault ship or escort us a bit, we can just stick his head in a rain barrel and leave him here no worse than we found him.
Yeah, I wonder if Penelope or anyone knows like some type of magic that could help like disguise themselves or something. Do you have anything like that?
No.
Oh. I feel like I've heard of people doing stuff like that, but usually I think it's magicians and, you know, circus type people. I've never actually known someone who could actually do
there's
it.
a lot of folks back home that can do it and do it very well, but it's not really my bag.
All right, well, let's go up. I mean, we got brunch, and then we got to decide if we're gonna. I mean, I gotta say though, Rodriguez, he's gullible. He's real gullible, but I don't know if he's that gullible.
Well, I think to your point before, you know, flavor your untruth with truths, and just let him assume things. And oh, I did think of this though. If we show up in Silverfleet uniforms with him, he may even himself put two and two together.
I mean, we could just try to tell him, hey, we're actually on a secret mission from the Silver Fleet. See, we got uniforms, we got a flag, we're legit. You know,
it's worth trying. I mean, as much as we like him and as much as we don't want to hurt him, we've got his key, and if he's gonna hurt us being able to get on the ship, it's not worth bringing him. I think maybe we let him know. We find out his perspective on our fake uniforms or real uniforms from his perspective, and that determines if he comes with us or not.
All right.
You know, maybe we stick him. Okay, keep forgetting about this. We stick him in the mirror. We take him on the White Wake. We show him the plan. If he's not going to play ball, we stick him in the mirror, and we don't have to deal with him.
I've thought about that. Yeah.
We let him out. We let him out when we get back here, and we let him out, knock him on the head, tie him up with something, you know. And he might recognize us, but he's not going to be able to say much about where we are or where we've gone or come from.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe the mirror's the best bet, just period, once we get close enough, or just less of a loose end to deal with.
Yep. I mean, it would really help us get through the lines and get into it and everything, because, you know, otherwise we're flying up when we're running all their colors and their uniforms and whatnot, but then once we're in, I mean, do we really think we could keep it up long enough to walk all the way into what we need to? And based on some of the guards and some of the precautions they put up based on what he's told us, I don't know if we could really sneak up on this. Well, maybe at night.
So hear me out. You're going to be the face of this, so you get final say so. We bring him the pendant. We say, well done, Captain whatever rank he is, Mr. Rodrigo. You passed the secret test. We are actually Silver Fleet officers, and because you were able to find a way to fix your problem out and get this back, well done. You can take us back to the ship. We can, we'll escort you back. You've done this well. He gets on the ship. He's bragging and doing things. And then we say we've got something else we've got to do for the Silver Fleet. We've got this ring. We've got a bit of, and we can at least scope the place out and then determine if that means, okay, we're each grabbing one thing and leaving. and then trying to blow the place up on the way out, or maybe we just go in and kick down the doors. Maybe we find out from him how many men are on this thing. You know, if it's... I'd rather not just go around just killing wantonly just to steal, but at the same time, we're looking to hamstring the Admiralty a bit with this.
Yep.
So what if, you know, just since you like to play things by ear...
No, I like that. I do.
Yeah, what if we lie to him, tell him that he passed the secret shopper test, and then when we get there, then we start to ad-lib?
Well, I do like that, but I'm a little worried once we get on the ship, he'd start just talking like, oh, I passed the Silver Fleet, blah, 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 blah. Then people might be looking into us a little bit more. So instead, why don't we change it? Robert's mentioned this to me a couple times. There's something called, what did he, surprise inspections or something like that?
Inspection? Oh, those are the worst.
Yeah. So what if we tell him like, oh, you know, we actually do work for the Silver Fleet. We went and got this back for you because we know how much of a, you know, breach in our security this is, and based on this, we need to inspect your day-to-day. We need to see. Now that you've brought this into question, we have a few questions for you, and we need to see your day-to-day. We need to see how tight you keep your ship. We need to make sure that something like this isn't going to happen, and you don't need a depromotion, sir.
A demotion, but yeah.
I'm not good with words, man. Have you ever heard me call someone the right name ever?
I think you've called me by my name twice to other people.
Hey, I'm getting it, though. It took like 4 months, but I'm getting it.
I do like that. Kind of calling him on the carpet, and then he is gonna, you know, stick up for us a bit. Mm-hmm. If anybody tries to stop him, I think maybe we do a bit of recon, finding out from him how many people are on the ship. You know, what the rotations are, because A, we're not going to be able to fight off an army, and B, I'd rather not just kill a bunch of people who might not be doing anything. You know, I don't want to fight a bank guard. They're probably on the, you know, two months away from retirement.
I guess, but they're also bank guards that are holding money for very, very dangerous, horrible people, and they probably know it.
Yeah.
Also, I think the plan's coming together here, Tam. I think it really is. All right, so also, I don't think does the Silver Fleet doesn't have money on this, right? Because these are the people that want war and all this stuff, and the Silver Fleet's a different entity. What if one of the things is like, hey, we are inspectors because our Silver Fleet was actually thinking about potentially starting using your safe ship as a means for us. All this is from the seat of our pants, and I gotta say, I love that. I do. I'm a little worried about you, but I love it, and we just need to see how gullible this guy is.
Well, I've told you many times, I'm just not going to talk. It's very easy to not put your foot in your mouth when you keep your lips zipped.
All right. Well, let's keep thinking about it. Let's go. We need to sleep anyway, so let's head on up.
Yeah, you guys look around the arena. The only person who's in here is looks like a halfling janitor sweeping on the other side of the...
Everybody wanted to congratulate us, and we just ignored them while playing. Like, go away, we're thinking.
Well, you were sitting with the tank, and people are kind of intimidated by him. So you guys head back upstairs. You rendezvous with Penelope and Bergen and all of your crew, and they are just ecstatic. Cam, I won 5 gold on that fight. And she tosses you one. Here you go. And they show you to your rooms, and unless there's anything else that y'all want to do, y'all can long rest.
Penelope, would you and Bergen mind? I think Captain maybe will look to put out about lunchtime.
Yeah, that's fine. I can head down to the docks first light and get stuff ready.
Good. I think that'll give us a chance to finish laying the groundwork here, and we'll be ready to put off.
All right, that sounds good.
Hopefully Vincent will turn up as well, because Vincent had said he was going back to the ship when he got his stuff done, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Tam is very tired. Feels very beat up.
Cool. You guys go to your rooms. They're average, but they're much more comfortable than sleeping on board a ship, and so you are able to take a long rest and finally level up to level 5. You are
level 5.
Level 5 now.
Woo! I get to pick 3rd level spells.
Yeah, there you go.
It's fun.
Oh my gosh.
And as well
oh
as
my
leveling
gosh.
up, you have all of your spell slots and hit points back and hit die and everything else.
There are a lot of social spells in 3rd level for clerics. Holy moly.
Yep.
Interesting. I wonder what you'll use those for.
Yeah. the non-talkable person. Oh my gosh. And see, this is the thing about clerics. You have to pick your spells every time.
Yeah. You all wake up in the morning feeling rested and refreshed, ready for the new day.
Tam is very excited. I think I tranced right when we got there and have just been up for a while. And
Okay.
I've been kind of walking through different iterations of what could go wrong. I think in the mechanical way of leveling up, I spent some time with my book, and suddenly some things are kind of clicking into place for me.
Gotcha.
There are some things that Hachiman has talked about, or that the authors of the book have written, that suddenly make a lot more sense. They're starting to sink in better. And we thought that we could probably get to those sectors where the vault ship is supposed to be in a day and a half, or was it half a day?
Day and a half.
Day and a half. Okay.
Depending on which ones you want to go to.
Oh gosh.
You could definitely get to any one sector in a day, but if you're going to multiple, you might not be able to
To cover all
get.
of them.
Yeah.
Got it.
Lichen would have gotten up early and tried to go on the run with Tank.
Yeah, you're able to do that. You find him outside of the Serpent's Flagon, stretching.
Oh, Lichen, you want to go for a run with me?
Yeah, I actually do. I'm real adept in the water, but I need to get my legs with some land every once in a while. You want to race?
Today's more of a sort of just a light cardio day. I've been earlier this week. I did a long run, and I'm just trying to take it easy today. But if you want to race, I'm down.
Yeah, let's race, because I mean, who knows when we'll have the chance again.
All right, let's go.
Hey, Charles, and one of the halfling workers there is like, yes, Tank.
Could you count us down? We're gonna have a race. We're gonna have a little race here.
He's like, sure, yeah. And he gets like a little kerchief from, and he's like, all right, you guys just get ready. So how does Lichen prepare for his race, his little foot race?
Is this like a 50-yard dash, or is this first one to finish the mile?
Yeah. Do you want to do a sprint, or do you want to run like a mile, or what are you thinking? I was planning on running about 3 to 4 miles today.
First one to the dock and back.
All right, yeah, that's about a 5K.
Let's do it. You can take any route you want, but down to the dock and back.
All right, sounds good. The halfling goes and stands in front of you guys, and he counts you down. He throws the kerchief in the air and says, go, and you both take off sprinting. This is going to be some opposed skill checks.
Great.
Figured.
All right, so Tank is going to make an athletics check. That is going to be over 20. He just goes. Gets off the mark super quick, running super fast. I'll say you can do athletics, but if you can make an argument for me why another skill check would work, I will perhaps allow you to make another like if you're like, ooh, I want to try to like take a shortcut, you could maybe do like a survival check or like a perception check or something.
Yeah. I 100% wanted to take a shortcut, and I also wanted to see if there was any type of river coming through the town, or if there was some piece of water closer than all the way at the dock that still connects to the dock.
It's a triathlon now.
There definitely is some water that goes through the town, although not there's like a river that runs through the town. It's kind of on the other side of the town from where y'all are at, but there are sewers and drainage ditches if you would want to use them.
How competitive are you, Lichen?
Not that competitive, but I'll look for any type of shortcut as I'm running.
Yeah, give me either a survival check or a perception check.
Not even joking, nat 20.
Nice.
With athletics would be 24.
So you've been here before, and you know that there's this alleyway that cuts a corner on a street, and usually it's blocked off. But for today, it's open, and so you can get through there if you want.
Yeah.
And it'll definitely give you a leg up on Tank. So you sprint through this courtyard, you jump over a fountain, you duck through this gateway, and you're on the other side, and you know that you've made really good time. You see him turn the corner and start coming down the street that you're on as you turn. So like you go through this alley and you turn left, and you can see behind you that he has just turned the corner onto this street, and he's running behind you.
Whoa, how'd you get up there?
And give me another. He's gonna make another athletics check. Oh, he does not roll very good.
Oh,
That's
no.
just like a 12.
Okay.
I couldn't
That's
tell
not
if that
bad.
was a nat 20 face.
And it's just athletics every time, yeah?
That's what he's gonna be doing because that's his
Yeah.
good modifier.
That's my jam.
I mean, I don't think I can make an argument for any type of charisma type checks, but that's still an 18 though, 14 on the die.
You persuade people to slow him down.
Yeah. You just pound your feet on the ground and you are ahead of him. He starts to close the gap a little bit, but you're still comfortably ahead of him. As you kind of round the corner for the final stretch to the docks, we're going to do just one more check. The race was to the docks and back, right?
Yep, that's right.
So y'all are about to get to the docks, and then we'll go back. So there'll be 5 total checks.
Okay.
But at some point, if you are ahead of him by like 2 checks, like if you get the next 2 checks on him, there's no way he can win, and we'll just
He
say,
sprains his ankle or something.
we'll just say you're far enough ahead of him that the last check doesn't matter. So athletics check, that's going to be 25.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a 10.
Okay, cool.
And I was not awake or part of this to cast enhance abilities, so...
Yes. As you get to the dock, you get to the water, and he comes powering through. He's almost right there with you.
Got that runner's high, dude.
And he does like a cool little like acrobatic move where he grabs onto a pole and like spins himself around super quickly, and he's like running. Y'all are like neck and neck running back towards the
Ah, man.
towards it.
Rage.
And
Advantage on strength checks.
Good call.
and he's like,
This is a good workout. It's not really what I had in my plan for the week, but, you know, it's okay. I'm really enjoying spending time with you, Lichen.
Gosh, why do you have to be nice?
We're just using him so bad. This is nothing but making Michael feel better.
I was literally about to summon my Claw of the Deep in front of him to mess him up, and now you said that, so yeah, I'm just gonna rage and keep going.
all right. That's only a 19 for him.
Okay. And do I get advantage?
You get advantage on strength checks.
If you're raging, yeah. If you're doing a strength
For a whole
athletics
minute.
check, then yes.
Yeah, you're right. That's better. 16.
Okay. Y'all are like right neck and neck still. He got a 19, so he like is edging a little bit in front of you.
Okay.
But
Is
it's
it 2 and
close
2?
enough
Is
that
it 2 and 2 now?
It's 2 and 2. It's gonna come.
Oh, this is
all
perfect.
down
This is
to
perfect.
The last one. Y'all are in a dead heat. You turn the corner. You see that someone has rolled a wagon in front of your shortcut from earlier, so you can't get through there. You're having to turn the corner with him on the way back. You see the finish line. You see the halfling with his kerchief waving it like a checkered flag at a NASCAR race.
And behind him, you see Tam on an outdoor table with a yard of mimosas, and he's just got one. He just looks very confusedly at the two of you.
Yeah, Bergen has a little espresso cup.
Lichen also clearly has a cramp in his ribs, and he's just going through it.
Just,
He's just
just
powering
raging
through.
through it.
Yeah, literally
All right.
just straight up like, nope.
So I got a 19 on the die.
Oh no! And I don't know if you still have advantage because rage only lasts for a minute. Or you got
He
multiple
does. He
rages
does.
today.
I'll say he raged. I'll say he raged at the perfect time to get two these checks in.
You said he got a 19?
He got a 19 on the die, so it's going to be over 20.
I'm not allowed to know what it is. Because I'm going to use a dice.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So,
Well, no, you could just add it to yours though.
what do you mean? Oh, yeah. But I don't know if it's enough because Nathaniel hasn't said how much, but I'm going to do it. I do.
Okay.
Lichen,
Yeah.
Lichen is a little petty. So 14
A
on
little?
the dice. 14 on the dice plus 4 athletics is 18. You said he got 19 on it.
He got a 19 on the die.
I rolled a 5 dice, so I'm going to add the 5.
Okay.
So
that's what, 23?
Yeah.
Yes. So does he add more than 4? He does, doesn't he?
He adds 4. It is. So I'll say 2 things. One, Lichen, this can end in a tie.
Yep.
Or if you want to pull some kind of trick, we'll have a flat roll off and just higher number wins.
Remember, over the table, we may have to rob a place today.
Yeah.
That's for Michael. Lichen can do as Lichen wants.
Well, I think even before you said that, I think if this had been Vincent, no question would have gone for the win. I think literally because it's Tank, Nathaniel, you kind of said it. I think when they were kids, yeah, we street brawled a lot. Anyone within, the higher up anywhere in the families, all the kids had a chip on the shoulder. But Tank won a ton, but he was never mean about it. So I think because of that, Lichen's fine to tie with him.
I like that. That's really cool.
You guys, at the same second, cross the plane of this halfling waiter. Both of you are gassed, panting. The halfling's like, I don't know who won. It was
Tam
pretty
comes
close.
forward with two champagne flutes and says, "To the victor go the spoils."
Tank says, "Oh, is there alcohol in this? I don't really drink. Could you just get me? Could you get me
Tank.
just some?
Tank, how are you not breathing hard? How are you okay?
Yeah, I was breathing heavy earlier, but I just tried to, I just recover quickly from this kind of stuff. Could you bring me just a really big mug of water and some hot tea, please? And what do you got some champagne? What do you want, Lichen? It's on me. Brunch is on me, guys.
Hot tea after a run?
Water.
Yeah, I find that it opens up my sinuses and it just is really good for my recovery.
I also have the water. I kind of alternate.
That doesn't make it better, Tank, but to each his own.
I just want water. Cold water, as cold as you can get it. I want water.
Yeah.
Hey, bring us the buckets.
And
Tam has
the
now drank
halflings-
both of the champagne flutes. He goes, "Well, to the victor go the spoils."
Tank motions for another halfling with. They have a bucket of ice water. He comes and just dumps it on Tank. He says,
You want one of these, Lichen?
Yes.
another one will come and do the same and just dump a bucket of ice water on you.
There is something wrong with both of you.
Liken's hugging the cramps and is literally just looking at Tank. How is this not hard for you at all?
If you could pull the rib out, you would right now.
And Tank just sits down.
Could you bring a few of the pastries and some of the croissants and maybe fry up some bacon and get some eggs and maybe some apples? And you guys want anything else? I can have them bring enough portions of all those things for all of us.
I think some pastries would be delicious, Tank. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, they have some pretty good cooks here.
And the halflings bring a brunch feast for you all.
Nice.
Yeah, Lichen, roll an insight check for me.
Okay. 16.
You get the impression that this is kind of like all that Tank does now. He lives at this place, he fights people for money, and he works out during the day. And that's kind of his life. And so, the reason that he's not completely... He is gassed, he was breathing hard, but he's recovered a little bit quicker. Part of the reason for that is he's a fitness, he's a gym bro. This is all that he does. This is his life.
Tank, do you have any desire to get back to the city or get back to the Silver Fangs or?
Yeah, I'd like to get back there one day. I don't know. People there they can be so mean to each other, and people at my family, I love them, they're great, but sometimes they just have all these ambitions to, they always want things to be different, and that nothing's ever enough for them, and, I just like doing what I'm doing. But I will confess, sometimes I get kind of bored just sitting here. So if y'all know of anything interesting or adventurous that might be coming up, I'm always looking for a new challenge, and if there's bigger and badder people I can fight, well, I love that.
The gears are turning.
Lichen looks at Tam.
Tam hears that and hears Lichen, and Tam is just shaking his head. No.
Well, Tank, that's interesting you say that. So I'm actually a captain now.
No way! Congrats! I know you always wanted to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I knew the city was never gonna be my full-time place.
There's some nasty guys over there. Like, you remember that guy Vincent? He was just the worst.
I was about to
I
ask
know.
about that.
I know.
He was just so mean-spirited. Like, he would say something that he was acting like it was nice to you, but deep down you know that he was making fun of you.
Yeah. He was nasty. And then as kids, right, he'd always have those like 5 other kids with him, and he's like, "Oh, this is my gang, this is my turf." And it's like, what are you doing, man? We're all like 7. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's my turf.
There was this one time that he pranked me and tricked me into eating a bunch of rocks. And then he did it again. And it's like, come on, man. If I fell for it the first time, why are you doing it again?
I know, man.
Tam is chewing on his lip so that he doesn't scream with laughter.
Funny enough, Vincent's actually on our ship right now.
Oh, all right. Okay. So did you guys, like, capture him, or did you...
He got captured. It was hilarious.
Oh,
He was
no
tied
way.
up in a Yeah, didn't have any of his knives, and he was all like, "Oh, I let them catch me. Oh, la la la." You know, it was...
Tank laughs so hard and so long, he almost starts crying.
He's like, man, I wish that I could have been there to see that. I would have paid good money to see that.
And Tank, I think we've actually got to go meet Vincent. We've got some errands to do. We'll see you later.
Tank, we got to go take care of a couple things right now, but I want to leave you with something to chew on. So we'll hopefully be coming back into port. I don't know, Tam, what you say, like 5 days, a week or so.
Well, the sooner we leave, the sooner we can get back.
Yes, but when we get back, I just want to give you something to chew on, something to think while you're in that ring. We have a lot of fun doing what we do. I mean rogue merchantry. You know what it's like.
You take the good with the bad.
And I have an inclination you might be missing it. So when we come back, why don't you think about coming with us whenever we port out of here for good?
You know, I'll just do that. My friends, I'll think about that.
Okay. That's all I could ask.
He'll pick up the tab and he'll finish whatever of the tens of pastries y'all didn't eat. He will just like absolutely slam the rest of them, and then,
well, it's time for my mid-morning nap, and I guess I'll see you guys later.
Tam, as they're walking away, just says, "Are you collecting childhood trauma at this point?"
Whoa, Tam. I need you to walk that back a bit. Vincent? Yeah, trauma. Yeah, sure. Call, yeah. We have to call it something, I guess that's a word we could use.
Okay, we're already pulling a job with him, and you've now invited another person who, if I'm being honest, is an idiot.
Did you see how hard he hit?
I did, but if you're worried about me putting my foot in my mouth talking, what are you going to do with him?
That's why I'm not taking him on this. We're going to come back.
There's going to be other times where we have to talk to people.
And we will tell people and tell him, you're the labor on the ship. You're moving the merchandise we got. You know, you're
Do you
all
remember how he
brawler.
said he didn't like chores? That's why he stopped rogue merchanting.
But that's why that's what we tell people. And to
Okay,
be honest,
fine.
how often have we really had to lie? Not that much. Yet.
Because we've gone from shipwreck to jailbreak to running for our lives.
I'm just saying there aren't many people I would stick up from back home, especially from a different family. Tank's okay.
I'm not saying he's not okay, but I'm saying
He's never done anything super wrong, or he's a lot better than Vincent, I can tell you that.
They're in the same page in my book. Tank's, he's a lovable idiot. Vincent is a suspicious idiot. At this point, it almost feels like you're trying to reunite the gang from back home.
I would let Vincent go as soon as he wants to, but he's the one that knows about this ship right now. Once we get done, if he wants to leave, he's more than welcome to do it. Also, I don't want to watch Vincent just pick on Tank. Like, that's never fun.
Tank ate rocks twice.
You've never done something dumb twice, ever.
Not that dumb.
He has.
I'm 700 years old. I've done a lot of dumb things, but not that dumb and not that dumb twice.
He has a different category for that. It's fine. It's fine.
He ate rocks.
He's not coming with us right now, Tam. And you know what? To be completely honest and frank with you, you're being a little judgmental, I must say.
Yes, he's an idiot.
You judging people too quickly there, Tam.
No, I've talked with him quite a bit. He's a very nice person. He's an idiot.
Lichen, you do remember that episode, and in Tank's defense, Vincent got someone to paint the rocks so that they looked like bread.
The real question is, does Lichen think that would help his argument or make it worse? Anyway, we've got to go find your other friend.
Oh yeah. Let's head back to the temple. I'm sure he's gonna be happy to see us.
Oh, I actually meant Vincent, but that guy too. Yeah, because we've got to find Vincent, and hopefully he's got some uniforms from his uniform guy.
So are y'all heading to the ship, or are you heading to the temple?
We would probably try to want to get the uniforms if we're gonna try to sell this lie to. Is he a captain, lieutenant? What is?
He's a lieutenant, Lieutenant Rodrigo.
Do we have the ring on us, Michael? What do you think?
Yeah. I think Lichen has kept it on him.
I think maybe we don't go because if we're walking around in this Admiralty town, I just feel like that's more chances for other people to stop us.
That's a good point.
Rodrigo's bought it hook, line, and sinker. And so if we get him to buy, whatever lie we decide to tell him, we can just put the uniforms on later on.
No, that's honestly a really good point. Did we check this ring out? Like, it's just a ring, right?
I think so.
I'll slip the ring on.
Lichen burst into flames.
Yeah, nothing happens.
I literally was watching Nathaniel's face when I said I slipped it on. Is there something?
This is the sigil of the Silver Fleet ring?
Mm-hmm.
Or is
Yes.
this the Ring of Command?
No.
No, Tam has that on a necklace. Yeah, this is the Silver Fleet sigil.
Are you just wearing it openly?
I mean, I'm not making it super noticeable or anything.
Yeah.
I guess I would. We are trying to be secret. We're supposed to be kind of undercover. I would flip it because it's a sigil ring, right? I would flip it to where the sigil's on the inside of my hand, so it just looks like a gold band on the outside.
Okay, cool. You guys make it to the ship. You find Penelope there, and
We were going to we were going to Rodrigo first.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not getting the.
Yeah, we're
uniforms
not
first.
dressing up and then going back through where all the soldiers are.
Cool. Who are y'all taking with you? Are you taking Bergen? Anyone with you to the temple, or are you just the two of you going?
I think it's just the two of us.
Let Bergen
Okay.
maybe just go help get the ship ready.
Yeah, Bergen would have gone with Penelope. Most of the rest of the crew's all on the ship. You guys have gone to the temple. You make your way through the streets, and it is mid-morning by the time that you finish brunch and have kind of taken care of your stuff. The workday is in full swing. You walk through streets that are full of workshops and smithies and forges. You walk by a merchant area of the dock, and there are numerous goods being loaded and unloaded into ships. There are also street vendors hawking different foods. There's a gelato cart, as well as these little dumpling type things that seem to be packed with meat and vegetables. And you make your way through all of this and find yourself outside the Temple of Nema. The alabaster walls of the temple are glowing white in the sort of morning sun, as opposed to when you were last here, they were sort of reddish, reflecting the setting sun as it cast its rays across the evening sky. But yeah, so Lichen, you want to go inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tam holds the door for Captain.
Cool. You walk in.
As you do that, I will cast Enhance Ability. Just give you a quick pat on the shoulder and just say, Captain, this is your part. Make him believe it.
Watch me work, Tam. Watch me work.
And I'm doing the charisma one, so you have advantage on charisma checks for an hour.
That was going to be my question. I assumed that you were going to do the charisma one, but I wanted to make
Just
sure.
giving an advantage on strength checks. I just really feel he needs that right now.
You all of a sudden feel more confident, like your words carry more weight, and your posture straightens a little bit. And you walk in. There's a few more people in here today. There's a few people who look like fishermen sitting off on one side, sitting on several rows of pews, but like sort of like looking at each other, and they're just talking, kind of gossiping about different stuff. They all look a little too old to be like currently fishing. Like this is maybe one of the spots that like the old retired fishermen come and hang out. And then you see the different attendant is here lighting some incense and performing some rituals. There's a couple of other random townsfolk here as individuals, and then Lieutenant Rodrigo is off to the side, slumped against the side of one of the pews. He looks like he has sort of just snoozed a little bit because he looks like he has stayed all night here. He has not left this spot.
Tam, real quick before we wake him up, did we tell him our real names?
Yeah.
All right, we got to come up with fake ones real quick.
No, we don't, because you're not going to get my name right anyway. Just stick with the same names.
That's a really good point. All right, I'll come up with a fake name for myself.
No, your same name, because I'm not going to remember your name.
But
You can just be Captain. The end. You don't need a name when we're on the ship.
You're tying my hands a bit.
You're adding wrinkles, mate. You don't need them. He's already bought it.
Okay, fine. Let's go wake him up. I'll walk up to him. I'll just sit next to him, and I'll lean over. Lieutenant Rodrigo, wakey.
He shoots up as if he has been electrocuted. He's like, "What? Who's there? Oh, yes, yes, Lichen, my friend. Yes, how was your errand? Have you returned with the spoils about which we discussed?"
And Tam would have given the pendant to Lichen. So you've got it.
I'd just hold it up.
You are indeed a bosom friend. I do not know what would have become of me had you not been able to recover that item.
Yeah, about that. I think we need to talk a little bit about this, Lieutenant.
What you mean?
Well, I wasn't entirely honest with you when we first met.
Don't tell me that you're a rogue, a scoundrel, such as those who enticed me into gambling.
How dare you, Lieutenant? No, we are not that by any means. We are not some rapscallion.
This is making me so happy.
Make a deception check for me.
With advantage.
It's gonna be a 23.
Yeah.
He snaps up straight and he's like, "Sorry, sir. He looks very confused. He's like, "I'm sorry, but what's going on?"
My good sir, are you familiar by any means or happenstance of the Silver Fleet by chance?
Yes, I'm familiar, of course. Every officer is familiar with the divisions of different allocations of forces of our Navy, but there are very few that are stationed here.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure you also know it's because we don't have many, and yes, I did say we, and I'll flip the ring.
Good heavens.
We have been thinking about potentially using your vessel to house some of our more, shall we say, sensitive items.
But wouldn't that have to go through the chain of command? Is it something that has been cleared with the higher echelons of officers?
Tam just goes, "Didn't you hear the captain?"
Now, Tam, let me finish with this lieutenant first. Now, right, you are lieutenant. I'm glad to know that you know the upward mobility within our ranks, and that is exactly why the higher-ups of our Silver Fleet has so graciously given both myself, Tam, and our ship the duty of coming for an inspection of sorts of your ship and of your station. Now, we decided to stop inland because we wanted a break. We had been on the seas for some time, and now imagine my surprise when the very ship that I came to inspect, I find out that one of the keys to just waltz in and do whatever you might want has gone missing by a lieutenant of all people.
Oh. He lets out a squeak. By the sovereigns, have mercy on me. He's lost for words. He's like dumbfounded.
Now, Lieutenant Rodrigo, I don't like what I'm seeing here, but I will say, I think us coming for this surprise inspection might actually also aid to your benefit. Although I cannot say that we feel very confident knowing that something like this has been lost, I will say, getting the chance to talk to you last night, I have seen your, to use this word in this temple, repentance, your sorrow at losing this, and your desire and means to which you get back. Because I must say, most men of your station and within our ranks wouldn't think to attempt to hire some hired hands to help them get back. I think that's actually out of the ship thinking, if you will.
He make a persuasion check
With advantage.
with advantage.
I'm helping by not talking.
Oh, that's going to be a lot. Persuasion? Yeah, +5. 24.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. He is just beaming with pride. He's gone from like terrified to like, oh, yes, of course. I thought what must be done. I thought what must be most wise and expedient to account for my own error and fault, which I freely admit was mine. Although I must say that there are others on board the ship who might benefit from the surprise inspection, as they were the ones who manipulated me into going into gambling in the first place, and bear some of the blame for my losing of this artifact. But I take your meaning, good sirs, and Sir Captain, I will be happy to escort you and make introduction of you to my superiors and fellow officers upon the Vault Ship, if you so desire.
Captain, if that's all for me, I believe I will go and prepare the vessel for departure.
That's fine, Tam. Thank you very much. We should be along shortly.
And Sir Tam, what is your rank, that I might properly address you?
You're an army man. You should know this.
Tam just snaps at him and says, "You don't need to know who I am. You need to know that I do as the captain says. As should you." And just takes off.
Okay. Man, I think I need a roll. I think I need a roll for that. I think I need a roll for that.
Oh no!
But I'll say it can be intimidation.
Okay.
Or it can be.
Can I help by just being like, I'm sorry, he's rough. He's a bit rough around the edges. I'm trying to bring him up, but it's
Give with advantage.
All right, intimidation is +1. Okay. I rolled an 11 and a 12, so that's a 13 total.
Okay. Yeah.
not bad.
I'll say his
Wait a minute.
reaction
Hang
is
on. I'm
no.
looking at my old sheet. Wait. Ha 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 ha. Wait just a moment. Make that a 14?
It does it.
I don't think it's going to change a ton.
I win. I win D&D.
Yeah, the campaign's over. His reaction is not disbelief. His reaction is like, yes, he's a rather rude character. I must say, you should really keep if we're going to be going to the ship, there's a great emphasis placed on propriety and following the military codes of the Admiralty. And so I must say that he's a little uncouth for my tastes.
And my goal in getting out of there is to go back and let the crew know what play is going on. We're bad guys. Y'all are just the crew. Everybody just, tighten up a little bit.
Cool.
Because our boat does not look like a Silver Fleet boat.
Nope.
Right. Forgive me for asking, Captain, but what manner of conveyance have you used to journey here? I have not been aware of any Admiralty ship outside of my fleet putting in some time.
Again, Lieutenant Rodrigo, you are keen in your duties, but part of this surprise inspection that I would like to do now that we have become acquainted is I would actually like to make our presence not as well known, because coming in, like I said, I was not fully honest with you the first night, and part of that is because our higher ups want to see what it looks like when the ship isn't readily prepared to receive higher ranking officers, rather to see what the humdrum day to day, what the posture is, because as you should know, as you might have learned from when you lost this, something can come and be taken at any point, and we need to see what the normal day to day looks like, not necessarily what it looks like when someone's coming to look. Right? Surprise inspection. You should be very familiar with those.
Yes, of course. Pardon me. I do not mean to cast aspersion or doubt upon your competence or the purpose of your visit. I merely was exercising my curiosity. But I will say, I do know several individuals who might benefit from a little extra scrutiny upon this surprise inspection, if you catch my drift, Sir Captain.
Why, of course, Lieutenant. So if you would be so kind to write those names down and hand them to me before we get to the ship, I will make sure that I glance over it, and Tam does as well, because as you can see, you might like Tam handling a couple of those, as rough as he might be.
I think I might like that a great deal, Sir Captain. Shall we go?
Well, I think that's a fine idea. Is there anything else you need to get while we're in town right now, or are you ready? Are you ready, Lieutenant?
I'm afraid that all of my other belongings were victims of the games of chance, and so all I have is the clothes on my back.
Why don't
so
you
let us away.
Why don't you star those names that were with you in that card game to leave a higher ranking officer behind with, forgive me for saying this, but with his pants pulled down is just it is not right.
He turns a little red, but he's like, yes, that was just what I was saying, and I was beseeching Nima not only to deliver me from my predicament, but also that she might smite those men who treated me so cruelly, and insubordinately, I might add.
I agree, and I will say, I did not lie to you last night about coming to see Nima. I think she must have had a hand in this for some reason.
Indeed.
So as long as this inspection goes well, Lieutenant Rodrigo, and everything seems up to snuff, and we feel confident in the security and in your station, I know maybe I shouldn't do this, but I might be willing to overlook the fact that you lost this key and not have to put it in my report.
I would be forever in your debt, Sir Captain.
Things need to be spick and spam, though, you hear me?
The all-powerful report.
I completely agree. I'm entirely of the same mind as you, Sir Lichen.
Okay, let's go.
Like a loyal lapdog, he trails behind you at a close but respectable distance.
Lichen does the very, high officer arm straight behind his back, parallel to the ground as he walks and talks with his lieutenants.
Yep.
We have been able to acquire a rather insuspicious ship, but we do have the flags to fly and the colors to fly as we approach, so as to not be assumed for anything else. We had to charter a crew where they'll be on their best behavior, but they as well might be slightly uncouth.
Yes, of course. Well, as you are no doubt aware, discretion is the necessity of these sort of surprise inspections, and so whatever is expedient to that end, I am sure is appropriate, good Sir Captain.
Yes.
You guys walk the rest of the way. Lieutenant Rodrigo is equal parts sycophant, just sort of trying to suck up to you. He's a martinet. He's clearly, cares more about that the buttons on the uniform are shined than that things actually work the way they're supposed to.
It's good that you're making him less likable now. Tam has hightailed it back to the White Wake, runs on board. Okay, me and the captain of Silver Fleet, you lot have been chartered by us. Just go along with it. Has Vincent come back yet?
Vincent's on deck. He's got several sets of uniforms laid out on the deck that he's trying to dry. You see most of them have some dark stains on the back with some holes in them.
Would mending help with anything that he's doing?
Yes, actually. Let's look at the wording of mending. Can mending get bloodstains out of cloth?
Oh, no.
It can definitely close up the dagger holes that he put in them.
The spell repairs a single break or tear in an object you touch, such as a broken chain link, 2 halves of a broken key, a torn cloak, or a leaking wineskin. So it sounds like break or tear, not necessarily. Can physically repair a magical item or construct, but it can't restore magic. So holes, yes. Bloodstains, no. Sounds like.
Yeah, so I'll say you were able to get the holes fixed up. And there's just some dark splotches all on the backs of these
I will
uniforms.
tell Vincent as we're kind of rifling through them to find at least 2 sets, possibly a third for him, and even a fourth for Bergen if we've got them.
Yeah, he's got like a uniform for every single member of the crew.
Oh gosh. Okay. Oh gosh, I wouldn't know. We haven't specifically talked about this. I'm trying not to metagame. Tam will give everybody a uniform. Okay, you lot, slight change of plans. You're gonna be Silver Fleet. Vincent, a word.
Yes, Tam. I was up all night trying to get all of those clothes, and I think I did a pretty good job.
Tam puts a hand on his shoulder and just says, "Well done. Thank you."
Yes, I have the flag as well, and he holds up a flag that is less authentic, maybe, than the uniforms, but it's a pretty decent try at aping a Silver Fleet. But you can tell, like, it's not.
Tam says, "Okay. The uniforms are spot on. These are great. The flag, maybe we'll have to use the magic one that we've got. All that being said, for the love of everything you hold dear, for all your knives, for all the treasure we might get, keep your mouth shut. An Admiralty officer is coming on board. You can speak to us, but do not try to be clever. Do not try to be amusing. Do not try to make friends with him. If you don't, there will be consequences."
Would you like me to stab him in the throat?
No. That would...
Okay.
You are not to
All right.
interact with him at all unless he speaks to you. And then you are
Sounds
to be
good.
deferential because he's going to put us on this vault ship.
Ah.
And these uniforms that you've got
Very clever.
are going to keep us from being stabbed in the throat, hopefully, while we're on the vault ship.
Well, we're really strong, so I don't think that anyone could stab us in the throat.
It depends on how many someones there are.
That's a good
And
point.
so Tam is going around handing out uniforms, kind of giving people, okay, this has got bloodstain on the back, so maybe just kind of keep you back to the wall. Well, then we'll come back onto the dock to wait to receive the captain and the lieutenant.
Cool. Bergen is there with you guys. Everyone puts their gear on. A couple of people are like the Cloud Elf scholars, perhaps I should just hide below decks. There's not that many Cloud Elves in the Admiralty, so I don't know if he'll cop to it.
That's fine.
All right. And he goes and conceals himself. And after about 15, 20 more minutes, you hear the high-pitched and kind of annoying voice of Lieutenant Rodrigo complaining.
Tam is in uniform at parade rest. He knows how to do this.
Right. Lieutenant Rodrigo sees Tam at attention and says,
He looks like he's gotten his stuff together. He looks like a very model of a naval officer. Good for you, Captain Lichen, having on such a diligent first mate.
Incredibly diligent. I dare say probably one of the best that I've ever had.
Tam just narrows his eyes at Rodrigo and says, "Captain, the crew is awaiting. We can depart upon your leisure."
Well, let's go post-haste. Rodrigo, would you mind helping to navigate at the helm to get us over there? I have to see to a few things under deck and in my quarters, and I will be with you quickly.
It would be my honor, sir.
and he goes up and he stands at the helm and starts yelling, "Cast off!" Bellowing out commands to the crew.
Tam is standing behind him, kind of deferentially, and just starts nodding and kind of doing get on with it, do what he says. This is a part of it.
If Lycan notices any of the messed up stains and stuff as everyone's running around, he'll just reach out, try to be looking like a good captain, checking on his crew, but casting prestidigitation the whole time.
Yes!
There you Give me the sleight of hand check.
Robbing a bank with cantrips.
This is not whether you're going to get caught. This is how many you'll be able to clean up before.
Oh, I don't have proficiency. I thought I did. Come on. 13.
Okay, yeah, you're probably able to get half of the stains out. But yeah, so you guys pull out of the harbor and make for the open sea. You sail under the eyes of several Admiralty ships, and Rodrigo gives jaunty waves to them as he goes by. But they're kind of looking at him. They recognize that they're just like, whatever. It must be some weird scout ship.
This guy's enjoying this too much.
Yeah, and you guys make for the open sea.
Oh my gosh.
Congrats, you have You have snuck a Admiralty officer onto your ship. And yeah. I mean, the nice thing with him is he knows the general region that the ship is in. So he's just, you don't even have to mess with like searching through all the other grids. You can just go straight there.
Yep.
We're going there.
It'll be like a day ish. Like not a full day, not quite a full day. Like you'll be getting there probably at night, like at dusk tonight.
Ooh.
So you said you had something to take care of below?
I was basically just going to try to clean up uniforms.
Okay.
And then probably touch base with Bergen and Penelope a little bit about the new plan, the new guys.
Cool.
You know, contingency plan, get them in the mirror if we have to. And then I'll go into my quarters briefly, more so just to like take a break from it for a second.
Get out of character.
Before like just being like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta put it all back on, and I gotta, you know, oh, and the one that I have, it was probably already one of the better ones, but I'll spend time making sure it's pressed and pristine, and you know, I'll look longingly at my own fancy jacket with a sleeve missing.
And we don't have a bag of holding yet, do we?
No. I was literally thinking about that because I'm like, if somehow we pull this off, how do we take as much as we possibly
walking
can?
off with armloads of stuff.
I know. We might have to like search the ship for something.
Oh, yeah, violence has got to be coming. I mean, there's no way that we're getting out of this completely clean.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we could be lucky and not a ton of higher ups could be there, right? Like when we hit it, just by chance. You never know.
Please, Nathaniel.
Nathaniel could be rolling stuff over there. Like who knows? Oh, I will at some point try to check with Tam, away from Lieutenant Rodrigo's ears, or maybe in my quarters or something. Hey, what rank are we? Like if someone actually presses hard for it, like what? I don't know this stuff. You do.
Well, this is not army. This would still be navy. So you'd be the captain. I'd be the first mate.
Is captain above lieutenant?
Generally, yes. I mean, you're the
It
captain
is?
of a ship.
Okay. What's above captain? Like admiral, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, generally, and again, I don't know fleets. I don't know. Basically, you're the commander of a group, and then you might meet with other captains, and you have equal rank. And if you are in the presence of an admiral, you defer to them, because that would be the general.
Does any hand on our ship have any type of background? Would anyone on the ship have that knowledge?
So she has never been in a navy, but if you ask around, Penelope's like, yeah, I know. Captain, I know. I think I know kind of the information that you're looking for. So there's sailors who are kind of the lowest of the low. Then there's lieutenants they're kind of like the first mate. Then there's the captain. They have captains, kind of like you, and each captain's in charge of a ship. Then there's, they call them down south, they call them commodores. That's like a captain who is also in charge of a bunch of other ships under him. And then there's admirals. And so those are kind of the big officer ranks that we have to worry about. So
Commodores are colonels, admirals are generals. Got it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good comparison.
Okay, that's good to know.
So I guess captain, technically, I would also be a lieutenant.
Or you could be like a captain in training, just so you have a higher rank than Rodrigo over here.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. So wait, what rank were you, Tam?
Not a high one.
Okay.
But that's another story. I mean, I'm not ashamed of it. It's just I didn't play the game at all. In fact, I actively didn't play the game at times, which resulted in demotions.
Dang. Well, yeah, that's a story for a moonlight ship or something. We'll get to that.
I mean, not you got most of it. There's details, I'm sure. Well, there are details. I would be very sure of that. But I mean, you've heard me call you an idiot. When I do that to an actual superior officer, they don't take kindly to it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we got our story. I think we got our story down, and I think we're just going to try to...
A word in your ear, if we get there, you're going to want to use the magic flag. Vincent got a flag.
Yeah.
But it's not the flag, if I'm being honest. It looks a bit homemade.
If we can pull this off, I mean, I think maybe we don't use that flag. If it looks as bad as you say it does, we could draw this insignia somewhere, or...
Oh no, what I'm saying is if we want them to not fire on us as we approach, we may need to be flying an Admiralty flag of some variety, whether it's a Silver Fleet flag or Admiralty in general. That's what I meant. And I'm all for marking the place up if we have to with, the Silver Fleet was here or something of, oh gosh, not the peacemongers. What are these guys?
The conquistadors.
The conquistadors are losers, I'm all for that. I'm just thinking about getting on the boat.
Yeah, okay. Well, time to go to work.
And it's going to be nighttime too. I mean, I don't know.
I already told Rodrigo I don't want our presence known. This is a surprise inspection. We want to look around. We want to see your station. I don't want people to know that we're there.
Were you able to suss out level of security or any details of that nature? Because if we get there and there's 50 men on board this ship, we may not be leaving with much.
Yeah, I was actually about to go talk to him right now as we sail there. He said it shouldn't take the full day, so we should be getting there by nightfall.
Maybe if we're pretending that we're going to put stuff there, ask him, if you were storing your jewels there, what level of security might we expect to be provided at any day, any given moment for said jewels?
Exactly. Oh, I'll go talk to him.
And now Tam does the same thing, kind of chills in the cabin, just unbuttons a button, just.
So you head back out on the deck, and you see Rodrigo is dressing down Marcos right now. He's trying to just tell him. It doesn't seem like he's trying to be mean to him, but he's like, no, your uniform has to look like this, and it's a little slovenly, and you need to shine your shoes like this, and you need to see a tailor the next time you're in port because that uniform does not fit you properly. He's just kind of talking.
I'll walk up, put my hand on Marco. Don't worry, Marco. I know a good tailor in town. I can take you next time we're in port. Go get back to the rigging. I know your uniform's loose because you're climbing and pulling all them ropes and you're up there. But he is right. Try to be a little more neat if you could at times.
Thank you, Captain. And he scurries off in the rigging.
All I can think of is that part from Braveheart where it said, "This uniform stinks. It's had a dead man in it."
Rodrigo looks very smug, and he's like, "Truly, you are the model of a merciful and yet stern
a modern
captain.
Major General."
I'm all the more impressed both by your steadfastness, but also your patience in dealing with these sailors who clearly have not the same respect for propriety that you and I have."
Right, you are, Rodrigo. I mean, it is at times a curse and yet a blessing to get to raise up the next generation of sailors that I hope will take my position as I climb the ranks myself.
Well, I would imagine certainly, sir, that one day the rank of admiral surely must fall upon you.
We could hope so. We could, if Nima could only be so kind. Now, if we could talk a little bit of business, because as you know, I have at this point entrusted you with the true details of what we're doing here. And so before we get there, what might I expect security-wise if I take back a favorable report to my superiors in the Silver Fleet? What defenses, what personnel, what could I tell them that you have ready to defend what is sitting inside
of course,
the ship?
I'd be happy to share any intelligence that I have. Now, I must say, I know that there are some defenses and some arcane sigils and wards placed upon the vaults that I'm not privy to their details. There are some traps and locks and systems of an arcane and mysterious nature that I just don't know. I'm not privy to that information. I'm not high-ranking enough, or at least not yet. And then he chuckles. He says, but in terms of more mundane defenses, I know that there are several ballistae located upon each of the 4 decks of the ship, and that there are about 100 men ready at arms to repel boarders, although, they are in shifts, and so not all of them are necessarily on duty at the same time. Actually, much of the ship's defenses rely on its remoteness, as well as some of those magical and arcane defenses have been, according to what I've been told, can be quite potent. In addition, I believe that there is a rumor. Now, this is top secret, so I would perhaps not even breathe a word of this to your first mate, but I've heard a rumor that there is some sort of magical device that might transport the ship great distances at a sign of trouble.
Ooh, really?
Indeed.
Now, are you privy to what location that might be?
No, unfortunately, I've not been welcomed into the inner circle of the Vault Master in that respect. I've actually never even met the Vault Master. He dispatches instructions through intermediaries to those of us serving on the outer decks.
Let me ask you this. Where exactly is the alarm system to the ship located? If somebody is attacking from the port side, how long per se would it take for them to, and where might that room or that sigil or that spell be located?
Well, I do know that there are alarm decks, or alarm bells on each of the 4 decks, and once, when I was first stationed upon the ship, I was permitted to have a tour upon the Vault Master's bridge. Now, he was not present at the time, of course, but it is located high up in the central obelisk at the very top of the vaults. And I believe that the controls for most of the systems can be found there. Although there may be other locations that the Vault Master is privy to, secret locations deeper within that I'm not aware of.
Okay.
As for how long the system might take, I'm not sure about that. I do not have that information, unfortunately.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to get a look around to the best of our ability.
I should also say there is another ship, the frigate, the Silent Warden, that patrols the waters immediately around the Vault Ship for the purposes of protecting it. And so there is a whole nother ship that is sort of tasked to watch over this ship and makes patrols around the Vault Ship, which tends to remain stationary as it is a rather large vessel and is somewhat difficult to move.
But of course.
What have we got ourselves into?
Yeah, no, this is a lot, man. Now, if there are 100 men on this ship, there has to be enough higher-ranking officers to handle so many sailors. Who is the Vault Master, in fact, the highest-ranking officer there? And if so, what rank does he exactly hold?
I'm not sure. I've never met the Vault Master, and, it's rather irregular, I should say. I don't know if he holds a rank at all. Or at least not one in the normal chain of command.
It's very interesting.
But I will say he acts like a bloody admiral.
It's because he's a bloody monster, I'm pretty sure. Says Tam to himself for no reason at all.
He explains that there's 100 or so sailors, including the lieutenants, but there's actually more sailor. Like, that's the number of combat capable. That's the guards.
Oh gosh.
There's almost 500 sailors.
Oh my.
But they're not they're there for loading and unloading, working the ship, stuff like that.
So the 100 are the guards. Yes. That's not counting the actual sailors. Got it. Okay.
They're mostly around to make sure the ship runs or to load and unload cargo.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a insight check to some degree? Hearing all of this, what Lichen's starting to wonder is, he said that his medallion thing doesn't get him access everywhere on the ships.
No.
And there's the higher deck and things like that. And so I thought there would be higher ranking, but now he's like, oh, there's only lieutenants. So I'm like, okay, so do none of the lieutenants have access to that? And if not, is it just the Vault Master that gets to go up there?
So
can I piece any of that together?
Make a insight check for me, unless you want to specifically ask him about that.
I'll try if I can click it together first. That's not bad. I have +0, 16.
Yeah, so you are able to put together that the only people who go into... Basically, he described there's an outer vault, which is sort of like a more supply depot than a vault. There's
we're not interested.
There's a padlock on the front door, and in that it's a warehouse with naval supplies, lumber. There's some gold, there's some weapons, and then there's an inner vault. That's where all the juicy stuff is. And the only people who can go in there are either the Vault Master, admirals, or those with documentation from admirals who are there to deposit or withdraw something. and then those of the crew that the Vault Master summons.
And so his, I'm not there, but his medallion would get him into the outer vault, not the inner
Yes,
vault?
that's correct.
Okay.
Okay. And the only people that would get in are the Vault Master, admirals who are really hoping none are on the ship when we get there, and essentially crew people that the Vault Master is like, hey, bring me Smith.
Yep.
Okay, we got this.
Do we sell him up the river when we get there?
He also mentions...
Ooh.
He also has mentioned that there are the 100 guards, that at least 10 of them at any time are in the prison level.
There's a prison level?
They're prisoners?
Oh my gosh. Oh no!
Based on that,
The ambassador. Oh no, the ambassador could be there.
what prisoners exactly do you keep? This is slightly new information. How many prisoners do you have, or is it empty right now?
He thinks for a second, and he says, when I last was there, I believe there was 8 or 9 prisoners. There's enough cells for, I believe, 15. Or if you wanted to cram multiple people into one cell, then perhaps enough for 30. Although that would be rather barbaric, I would say. I'm not sure as to many of their identities, but typically, from what I understand, they are people who have... some have either transgressed against the Admiralty fleets of the blockade fleet and such, or they are enemy officers who have some sort of intelligence. Typically, those who have wronged are punished and released or done away with, unless there is some purpose as to retaining them.
Interesting. And so you would be able to essentially get us anywhere on the ship and see the day-to-day except of the interval.
Indeed.
At that point, we would have to reveal our identities fully
Yes.
to potentially get a look at it, because I know that our higher-ups want us to get eyes
Yes,
on it.
it is... with your stated purpose, there is a good chance that the Vault Master would want to have a personal audience with you. It is not his custom. It is not ordinary for any ships other than those from the blockade fleet and others to make stop at our vault ship. But if there's to be greater collaboration between these fleets, then perhaps the Vault Master would want to interview you personally.
That's the way in.
That might... I think that sounds most agreeable, but like I said before, if you could, because I would very much like to see the sailors and lieutenants at ease, perhaps even treat me as another lieutenant as we walk around for the time.
A bit of skullduggery, I see. A bit of a boondoggle.
Yes. Exactly. And I will say, I know that at times it's not for every sailor. Clearly it's not the case for you, Lieutenant Rodrigo, but I know for some, they don't have the best view of the Silver Fleet. And so I would hope a fellow lieutenant might make sure that we are at the very least given the respect deserved while we're on the seas.
Indeed, sir. No one, and I say no one, ought to besmirch the rank of lieutenant in the Admiralty. To do such would be dishonoring our very uniform.
Well, thank you. And I'm going to turn this back around as well, so that way, if I have to, I will pull rank, but it's not my style.
Most excellent, sir. And I also do believe, for the purpose of inspecting, you will probably get a more accurate perspective of the natural goings-on of sailors and workmen on the ship if you are, shall we say, incognito.
I like where you're thinking. I think we'll go with that, Rodrigo. That is inspired.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And perhaps you could put that in your report?
Oh no. I'm booting this guy over the side as soon as I get a chance.
I will make a note. Of it.
I am ever in your debt, Sir Captain Lichen.
Rodrigo, I do like you so far. This is going well, and if this inspection goes as well as it might be, I might also have to put a slight note as a recommendation for captain. Now, that might not come quickly, but I do hold sway in the Silver Fleet to where that might help.
Make another deception check for me. I'll say with advantage because he really wants to believe it.
Come on. Plus 5. 17.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
It's like,
pretty good.
Sir, I would be ever in your debt. Truly, Nima has smiled upon us both for this providential meeting.
Now it's not guaranteed.
Of course,
like
yes.
I said, it depends on how this inspection goes.
I understand, sir.
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
He's starting to make me think that Nima's not a good person either. I've gone from pitying this guy to disliking him so fast.
I mean, if we look from the outside, Nima basically guided us to swindling this guy.
That's very true.
So
That's very true. Very true. She's like, can somebody do something about this idiot?
And I'm pretty sure her alignment is chaotic neutral, so there you go.
All right then.
nice. My kind of god.
So the day goes on, dusk is falling. You see the sun setting away to the west, off to the left of the boat as you sail north. And then you see in the distance two shapes cresting the horizon. One is
There's two of them.
a typical frigate that Rodrigo had told you about, the Silent Warden. It has two masts, it's sleek, it's fast, it's a typical warship. It seems to be sailing in a kind of a circular patrol route. The other one, you see on the horizon, they look like they're about the same size, and then as you get closer, you see that this is not the case. It is a massive ship. As you get closer, you see in the evening light, it looks like the prows of 4 ships sticking out in like a cross formation, and in the middle is a iron pyramid set balanced on each of the hulls of these ships, reaching up hundreds of feet into the sky. It is absolutely huge, and you see banners flying from each of the prows of the 4 ships as they sit steadfastly in the water. You see cranes on each of the decks, places for other smaller ships to dock and to load and unload cargo. You see sailors manning different equipment. At the rails, you see guards in Admiralty gear standing watch, bows drawn. You see ballistas and catapults, and as you draw near, they notice you. And they hold up, signal flags basically saying, stand off and state your business as you approach. And I think maybe that is a good place for us to end our session.
Gosh, we are in so
we-
much trouble.
Can we have said that we've changed our flag?
I was gonna
already?
say, I'll run up the colors, shall I, Captain?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then could I have also talked to the crew and kind of some of the more shabby, like just be like, stay below deck.
This is so
Yes, you
bad.
could have prepped however you wanted to
This is
beforehand.
So bad. Oh no.
Hey man, currently our rank and story is like rock solid.
Hey, this is so cool. Oh my gosh. I want to sink this iron pyramid in the ocean so bad.
This is probably a really bad thing to say as a person. It's really fun to play a character that lies a lot. It's like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, it's just
Well, on that note, that is the end of our session. Thanks everybody for listening along with us. We hope, I feel like I say this almost every time, we hope you're as excited for the next session as we are. If you're enjoying this adventure along with us, give us a like, comment, subscribe on whatever you're using to adventure along with us. And let's roll for advice.
All right.
I think I've rolled 2 times this session, which is perfectly fine. So I have no idea what's rolling hot or not. Ooh.
Got a nat 20 on this.
nice. Amazing.
I got a 7.
I got an 11.
Oh my gosh.
So
So for sage advice, anytime you are planning a heist, robbery, skullduggery, rogue merchanting, whatever you want to call it, maybe plan your getaway and your transportation of your loot a little better than Lichen and Tam seem to have thus far.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be interesting.
it's good advice. Thanks for listening, y'all.
That wraps it up. Catch everybody later.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.